Man, he had this tradition where he would throw a full bottle of Gatorade at people in the hotel room.
But he's the kind of dude that would get all the information he needs to get on you, and then he would use it to manipulate you.
They had a guy's quads explode in the weight room on the leg press during what we call the Valentine's Day massacre.
He got about 38, blew the side of his quads, just erupted. Oh, legs screaming. I had to take him to the hospital.
Would they ever let their child go to Florida?
Hell no.
Exactly.
There was these mat drills where like people would literally get like choked out.
Damn.
Yeah. Like,
and that was at Urban's discretion? He was saying.
He had an infection in his shoulders, and it was eating away at his shoulders. And they didn't acknowledge it. They thought he was just faking, some injury.
A lot of what played into my depression was they humiliated me. They thought I was trying to skip out on practice.
Pretty much. Going to try to kill you.
I'm gonna be honest with you, like I was suicidal. I was trying to take pills, all the pills that they were giving me to recover and to like subside the pain. I was taking it to try to end my life.
Unfair Game. Urban Meyer, A History of Abuse. Yesterday, Ohio State University placed their legendary football coach, Urban Meyer, on paid administrative leave pending an investigation. It has been reported that Coach Meyer was aware that one of his coaches had physically abused his wife in 2015 and that Meyer neglected to take action. Coach Meyer's salary is $7.6 million a year. If Ohio State investigators are truly interested in learning who Urban Meyer really is, they need to watch these explosive undercover videos we are releasing today. The stories from football players who played for Coach Meyer at the University of Florida will make you cringe and shake your head at the mental cruelty and physical abuse of young men, all in the name of winning.
Urban's at Ohio State now. So I hear a lot about Urban. And people there love him. People there really, really like him.
The fans do.
Yeah, what do the players not? Yes and no?
Some do, some don't. He's an interesting guy.
Why is that?
He has his ways, man. He did some crazy things. He said some crazy things to people. And it was an interesting experience, like I said.
Yeah. Well, you think that's because he's like such a high profile?
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of those guys' egos, being paid that much money, having that power over student athletes, I think it does something to them.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Before being hired by Ohio State in 2012, Urban Meyer coached at the University of Florida for 6 seasons, winning 2 national championships. Xavier Nixon played for Coach Meyer for 2 years. Then Nixon played 3 rough, injury-filled seasons in the NFL. But his memories of his time under Coach Meyer left the deepest scars.
Man, he had this tradition where he would throw a full bottle of Gatorade at people in the hotel room. Like before the game, he would come in the room, grab a Gatorade bottle on the table, and he would throw it at you. So he comes in my room. I'm rooming with John Alapio, who's a close friend of mine. He picks the bottle up, he throws it at John. And I'm like, I know this motherfucker's gonna try something crazy. He picks another bottle up. I said, if you throw that bottle at me, I'm gonna punch you in your face. And he just stops right there. I'm pretty sure he never heard that response in his life. He just stops and looks at me, trying to read the situation, and he just puts the bottle down, smirks, and walks out. So.
Was it like joking that he was doing it, or was he like?
I'm sure he thought he was joking, but it's a full bottle of Gatorade. He's chucking it at people.
Winging it at you.
Yeah. And I'm like, no, you're not. We don't do that shit.
Yeah.
I don't. Nah, that.
Yeah. Hell no.
It's crazy,
Damn.
man. Yeah.
Well, that goes back to like the coach. You said coaches with like their egos and stuff. Like.
Exactly. Big ass egos. I had to check them.
Gideon Ajabi spent his first year at Florida under Urban Meyer's tutelage, a year that nearly cost him his life.
This is the best way I can describe it, Rick. And this is no disrespect. This is just my experience. Again, I've forgiven the dude and I forget what the dude, but Urban he wouldn't cuss much. He wasn't like a loud person, but he's the kind of dude that would get all the information he needs to get on you, and then he'll use it to manipulate you, or he'll use it against you. For example, so during recruiting, he'll get all this information on you, ask you all these questions, you feel endeared to him. When you don't do good in practice, he'll use it as fuel to motivate you. So he'll say, "Hey, I thought you were trying to get your mom out the hood." You say stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Or he would, he knows that you're not really smart. He'll put you in front of the team and he'll make you do trivia. And everybody will laugh at you.
Damn.
And stuff like that.
That's like twisted. I know some guys that play, for Ohio State and stuff, and they're like 50-50 on Herb. They're like
Herb different, man.
Yeah.
That's, believe me, I've heard some crazy stuff.
No, different.
What do you mean? Like what?
Like throwing Gatorade bottles.
Like, he's a psych major, so he knows how to control you.
It's like almost
I told you, I heard Urban say some crazy shit to people. I was walking with the guy I came in with, Kyle Coney, 0909. He walks past us in the hallway. He says, "What's up, X?" I say, "What's up, coach?" Doesn't say anything to Kyle. He walks about 10 more paces. He turns around, he looks at Kyle and says, "What the f*** are you doing here? Who recruited you?" And just walks away. Like, what the f***?
Yeah.
How do you say that to a kid that you recruited? Like, you sat in front of his parents and told him you wanted him here at the university.
Yeah.
Like, how do you have the balls?
Just got here.
Right. How do you say that to his face? I don't understand.
But it wasn't just throwing Gatorade bottles at players and verbally abusing them. Under Meyer's program, there was blatant disregard for the players' health and well-being. In fact, players who were seriously injured were often humiliated and forced to practice while suffering excruciating pain.
Love it. Feeling good.
I feel good, man.
I was going to say, man, that's...
minus the tissue damage and bone damage, I feel pretty good.
Yeah, from all the injuries and stuff like that. So do you have a lot of... how did they see, like, when you got injured and stuff, like, they took good care of you down in Florida? Really?
Not really, yeah. Not really, man. They had a guy's quads explode in the weight room on the leg press during what we call the Valentine's Day massacre. He basically just do everything to failure, and the lactic acid had built up in his legs so much that his quads literally exploded. They ruptured, and he had to be taken out on an ambulance.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who was that?
Marius Hines. He was another really good college player, but he never really got a chance in the pros.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Xavier told me about, what was it called? Valentine's Massacre, or whatever. How was that?
Oh, Lord.
What's hell? We literally had guys blow their damn legs out in college.
Who?
We had a receiver who,
Here,
well, like on certain holidays, we had certain stuff going on. Like even for Christmas, we had like certain type of workouts. Yeah, Valentine's Massacre was basically like a tough ass workout.
Josh Evans, who played 4 seasons in the NFL, was a teammate of Xavier Nixon's at Florida. He agrees Urban Meyer's Valentine's Day Massacre was a clear indication of the culture and tone set by Meyer.
So it's basically like we used to have these type of workouts for us, and they have them labeled by certain things. We had like Failure Fridays or like the Massacre, where it'd be like a workout that's ridiculous. Like you'd do a full body workout, but it'd be everything like failure. You bench until you can't bench them, pull it down until you can't pull it, push up until you can't do them, run into the damn thing and throw up. It's ridiculous.
So they throw up or something?
Not literally until you throw up, but pretty much, you feeling like you gotta throw up because they just running you down the field, up and down the field.
What's the point of that?
Conditioning.
Should I, like, build character?
No. Probably. But you said some dude blew his leg up?
We had a workout one time, and this one they kind of stopped.
Oh, it was that bad?
It was that bad.
Wow. What happened?
Summertime, we had like this. It was like that last little workout before we all let out for summer break. And it was like one of those things to failure. Like we was doing everything to failure. Honestly, when you look up like that, even what I learned now, you should never be doing everything to fucking failure. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
But college is like mental toughness, push through it, We had a guy on a leg press machine. Pretty athletic. Big legs, big upper body, strong as shit. I had probably about 6 plates on each side doing leg press. I mean, he pumping his bitch. He on like 30, just going to failure. So he like blew the whistle as he going. The whole team kind of came over there like, go, pushing him. He got to about 38, blew the side of his quads, just erupted. Legs screaming. I had to take him to the hospital.
He was screaming?
Hell yeah, he was screaming.
You were there?
He blew some shit in his head.
You saw that? You heard about it?
I was there.
You were there.
Blew his
Damn.
side of his damn.
Who was that?
I forget the guy name. It was Marius Hines.
Marius Hines?
Marius Hines was his name. Yep.
See, because that's not something that they talk about. That didn't make it out the locker room, did it?
You would never know. You see what I'm saying? You would never know, but it definitely went down.
They f***ed him up.
Come on.
So did he play again after that?
He played again. After he rehabbed and got healthy. But he technically could have filed a lawsuit. But you don't know that.
Did they make him shut up about that shit?
They just made him rehab and say he got hurt in the weight.
Wait, do what? I missed that.
Hurt in the weight
He
room.
just said he got hurt in the weight room.
Damn.
Got hurt. Oh, they brushed up the rug and said that they just got hurt in the weight room.
Just make sure they rehab.
They minimized it.
Yeah. That's crazy. Damn.
I don't know if you noticed in this picture right here.
Mm-hmm.
Look at his right leg. Look how his quad. You see how his quad?
Oh yeah, it's way bigger.
Well, both his legs were like that, but he would stand like this. His legs literally like
Just
that.
bow it out.
You know how like equestrian people, like horse riders,
yeah.
how they have those baggy pants.
Yeah.
That's his legs would have filled up those pants. That's how big his legs were.
After.
Because his legs, like, they never went back down. So his muscles that seeped out, they just sewed them back together and they stayed that big.
Blows my mind though. You said the Valentine's Day massacre.
That was the name of the workout.
That was the strength coach was just like, you guys like.
Pretty much. He's gonna try to kill you.
It's just crazy, man. Like I love football so much, you know, but there's just so many things about it that like could be fixed and improved upon and.
That just needs to be addressed. That they're just trying to sweep under the rug. Like we're aware of what's going on, what happened to us, and what you're doing to kids now. Like we're aware. We need to talk about it.
Yeah.
They don't want to talk about it.
Yeah. Because, like, should it be public, that's big news. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like if somebody heard that story about the Valentine's Day massacre.
Would they ever let their child go to Florida?
Hell no.
Exactly.
William Green was a defensive end who played at Florida for 3 years. He described a Coach Meyer drill where players were sometimes actually choked out to unconsciousness.
There was these mat drills where like people would literally get like choked out. Wait,
what?
There were mat drills like you go around and do all these drills on like these mats, and then at the end of it, you usually wrestle. So like you go O-line, D-line. I wasn't very big yet, you know. So like a guy, Marcus Gilbert, who was 6'6", 320, you got to wrestle, and it wasn't like normal wrestling. Like you both stand up. So let's say I'm standing here, somebody else standing here, and there's one mat, and one, depending on what week it was, defense be down, offense be on top. So you dive out. You got to crawl across the mat. You're just trying to get across the mat. He dives on top of you. His job not to let you get across the mat. And they would literally get up under and choke you, and you might go to sleep.
Damn.
Yeah. Like,
and that was at Urban's discretion? He was saying do that.
Yeah, that happened. So,
but it's like that's so unnecessary for football, right?
Yeah, it's extremely unnecessary. We all talk about it now. Like it's the stuff we used to do was not normal at all.
Yeah,
it just wasn't. But,
well, like what about like dudes that would get injured and stuff?
Heal them up, then get them back.
Who got choked out? Like were there people that passed out?
Oh yeah.
Like who?
Heck, me.
Like you got choked out
in my freshman year.
So what was the reaction like when you passed out? Like you got choked out.
You wake up and just what I
did. They didn't like have medical staff like rush over to you?
No, but if you're fine, you're fine.
That's crazy.
we had a freshman linebacker, John Boston. He got choked out.
Like hard, real.
Oh yeah, like went out. You know.
Well, it's like, could you imagine if like ESPN, like, Heard
There's
about
actually
that?
a video of these mat drills that one of my buddies has.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh my god, I love to watch that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that video could be worth like money.
Yeah, they wouldn't want that out there.
Oh, hell no.
According to the players we talked with, there was a culture under Coach Meyer that had no limits. When players were injured, they were called pansies. They were often kept in the dark about the severity of their injuries and were sent back onto the field as soon as possible. It was about winning at all costs.
We had a guy get staph infection in his shoulders. He was literally dying. And the coaches didn't even acknowledge, they thought he was faking. Right. He had bacteria eating the muscle in his shoulders, and they had us in this area called the pits where they put the injured people. They had him carrying a 45-pound plate over his head. And like I said, he had bacteria eating the muscle in his shoulder. He was just crying the whole time.
Who was it?
His name was Gideon Ajabi. So
I haven't heard of him.
He was a good high school crew. He played at Florida, but nothing after that.
And he had to have a surgery.
Yeah.
And then got staph infection from the surgery?
No, I don't know what caused the infection, but he had an infection in his shoulders, and it was eating away at his shoulders. And they didn't acknowledge it. They thought he was just faking, some injury. Come to find out, I don't know what you test to see that.
Yeah.
But come to find out, he had a form of staph, and it took about 6 months of treatment, after the surgery for him to get back right.
So what they do when they finally acknowledged it?
Nothing.
They were get back to work, basically?
Pretty much.
Damn.
Yeah, man, it was rough.
As a kid growing up in Miami, Gideon Ajabi loved football, dreamed of attending the University of Florida. But when he got there, a mysterious infection attacked his shoulder and almost killed him.
I think it was after the first day of preseason camp, my shoulder just started hurting for some reason. I didn't understand. But they didn't. I don't want to say it on there because I've forgiven them, but it was bad. A lot of what played into my depression was they humiliated me. They thought I was trying to skip out on practice. They thought I was trying to be the words they use. I'm gonna be frank. They said I was they're like, man, you're soft, you're this, you're that. Literally, it was one day, my arm was literally dangling. I couldn't even lift my shoulder up past here. And they were like, everybody run like Gideon. So they would run around like this, and the whole team, everybody was laughing at me. But they didn't know that. They thought I was joking. They thought they were trying to motivate me to stop being a pansy.
Yeah.
And then, but they didn't know that I was actually in pain. I'll tell them as calmly as I'm saying to you, I'm not joking. I'm really in pain. I'm hurting. And I don't know what's going on. And they would just continue to try to throw me out of practice or send me to the pit, and they'll try to make me lift up weights. And I'd literally have this arm up. I don't know how I got it up there.
They had him carrying a 45-pound plate over his head. And like I said, he had bacteria eating the muscle in his shoulder. He was just crying the whole time.
But I would put all my weight on this arm, and then I'll just have my hand there. And it was stuff like that. But they didn't know. Nobody knew. But it was still daggers. My mom sent me out here. My mom and dad sent me out here, and they put all their faith in this coaching staff to take care of me.
But the coaching staff his parents had put their faith in severely let Ajabi down. They accused Gideon of faking his injury to get out of practice. Without examining him to see if he was in fact injured, they forced him to practice and even lift weights. The abuse and the pain he suffered nearly drove him to suicide.
And it just wasn't getting any better. So after he pulled out all that juice out of my shoulder and said, hey, we need to have emergency surgery tomorrow.
Wow.
You have a serious injury. You have a serious infection in your body that is going to your heart. And if we don't stop it and clean it out, you will die. You are 1 or 2 days away from dying. And when they said that, it put me in a bad place, because I was like, I can't believe I went from being the hero in my high school and being some highly recruited athlete to being like on a bed about to die. You know, like I didn't know that I was literally deteriorating and dying. And it was pretty serious, man. And there's a lot of things running through my head, and I was kind of worried and scared. I didn't tell my parents. I didn't tell anybody. I was scared. I didn't tell my wife, now wife, which is my girlfriend at the time. I didn't tell her. I didn't tell nobody. So I was like depressed. I was lonely. I was frustrated. I remember asking the trainers, I was like, man, so like when is the timeline for me to get back in the game? When am I going to be able to, practice again? When am I going to be able to play football again? They said, football? Like, do you understand the damage that was done to you?
Yeah, you're lucky to be alive.
You're lucky to be alive. You may not play football again. You may not even use your arm the way that you previously used it.
Wow.
So there's a lot of factors that happened after the fact that I was like, it just threw me for a loop because like, I worked from 6th grade all the way to 12th grade for this dream to make it to the NFL, go through college, and be this dude. And it was literally almost taken away from me. And I'm gonna be honest with you, like I was suicidal. I was trying to take pills, all the pills that they were giving me to recover and to like subside the pain. I was taking it to try to end my life. And to that, for 6 days, nobody knew. They didn't know how bad it was until Coach Meyer came in, and I didn't say it the way on the line, but I was like, he came in and he like said, I'm gonna send you home. If you're not being serious, I'm gonna send you home. I'll bring you back as a walk-on. He was threatening me with everything to see how I'd react, and I just looked at him like, I don't care what you do.
Yeah.
I just can't move my shoulder. And he realized that I was being serious. Like he saw through all of the stuff before, and he said, no, he's being serious. And then he's like, we'll send you to the hospital.
The players say they can't speak out publicly. They have nothing to gain and everything to lose. So the abuse has gone unreported until now. The players here are not the villains. They are the whistleblowers. We recorded their stories unbeknownst to them because this was the only way to expose the truth. A truth that needs to be heard. A truth that may indeed prevent further abuse. We launched this effort after the FBI investigation into corruption in college basketball broke in the fall of last year. We wondered if we would find the same corruption in college football. What we found was a number of troubling stories at both the collegiate and pro level. There are more of these stories to come. Project Veritas is committed to exposing wrongdoing in all aspects of our society. For us to help you, we need those among you who have witnessed wrongdoing in sports, big tech, government, voter fraud, and political campaigns to come forward, to call or email us. We have the courage and the resources to tell stories others are afraid to tell. Others are unable or unwilling to tell. Stories that bring down the sacred cows. Stories that create watershed moments that will actually bring about reform.